Peace. So today's video is going to be super informal. I'm doing something different. And let me explain. There's not going to be an intro. There's not going to be the outro. There's not going to be, I might edit a little bit if I have to edit something out, but there's not going to be like any major editing or anything like that because I am learning to do the least to still receive the most. And what I mean by that is, I had a conversation over the weekend recently with someone, and we were talking about, I was talking about my ADHD and how I realized after I took a little hiatus from smoking that my ADHD was actually really terrible, like awful, and that I think I actually get so much done because I smoke, because it slows me down where normally my anxiety is like, shot, and I'm currently learning other ways to keep my anxiety in check, or at least learning to practice these ways a lot more, which include like meditation and like breathing exercises and stuff like that. But I wasn't super heavy on that because I had weed, and I didn't even know that until I stopped smoking and I saw like, damn, like this is kind of bad. Like you really need to work on this. So we're having this conversation, and he mentions like, you said you have ADHD, but you do a lot of stuff. Like, you do a lot. And I'm like, yeah, I do a lot. And he's like, yeah, like maybe you just have like really insane expectations for yourself. And when he said that, that really stuck with me because I can't really disagree. When I was in school, I had a 4.0 GPA. I graduated from high school with a 4.0. At some point in high school, I had higher than a 4.0 GPA because when you took weighted classes, which are like the honors or AP classes, they gave you an extra 0.2 on your GPA. So if I had straight A's, I would have got like a 4.8 or something, but I didn't have straight A's. But my grades were good enough that I still got a 4.0 by the time I graduated. Before that, it was like a 4.3. I think the highest it got was like a 4.3. Anyways, the moral of it is that I'm like a brainiac. Like, I always worked very hard in school. And so as I was meditating yesterday, I came to the realization that, I'm like this. Like, I'm this perfectionist who, like, strives for so much shit, because I think I'm seeking to recreate that feeling that I had in high school, where I felt like accomplished at something or successful, and I dealt with a lot of like mental issues. I mean, honestly, I still do. But it was really bad in college. In college, it was so bad that I would avoid like large groups of people, and that's like so backwards because it's college, right? And I'm not saying that I always avoid, like I went to parties, I went out, I turned up, but a lot of times in order to get myself to these spaces, I was under the influence. I was either high or drunk or tipsy or whatever. Like I was always something to make myself more socially like adaptable, because sober, my anxiety was like ridiculous. It was to the point where I wouldn't even eat dinner some nights because the cafeteria would be too full. I wasn't going in that bitch. Like, there's too many people in there. Like, I don't know. They're gonna be talking about me. They're gonna be whatever. Like, it was intense. Like, my friend, she honestly, I think she thought something was wrong with me for real because like one time she went there to get dinner and I wouldn't go in there with her. She's like, "You're not gonna go with me?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, "I'm gonna sit in the car. I'll wait for you." And she was like, "Are you?" I'm like, "I'm dead ass. Like, I will sit here and wait till you come back." It wasn't funny then, but I can laugh about it now because I don't think I'm that bad anymore. I know I'm not that bad anymore, but it took a lot to heal from that. Like, and of course, there's a whole backstory as to why I'm like that, but that's in my documentary. Not gonna talk about that right now. Go watch the doc. I'll probably link it up here. I don't know if I can, because that's posted on another YouTube channel. That's on Zuri Music YouTube channel. So go look at that YouTube channel if you want to watch my documentary. I'll probably put it in the description box too. But anyways, my anxiety was terrible. I have a problem with like moving very fast because my anxiety, my mind goes very fast. I talk fast, as y'all know. So like even like when I was working at this job, like as soon as like 5 o'clock hit, like when it was time to go, I was literally, it'd be 5:01 and I'm in the staircase, like down the stairs, like ghosting. Like I played no games. Like I don't know. And so after that conversation, I started thinking about all the endeavors that I do. Like I have I've been cooking for a while. I started like doing like dinner parties when I was in New Orleans. So that was like what, 2018, 2017. So that was years ago. It's 2022 now, almost 2023. But I've been cooking since I was like 12 for my whole family, but I actually started trying to make a business out of it when I was in New Orleans. And then I kind of took a little break, but then I started cooking again. So, I mean, I've been cooking this whole time. So, there's cooking, there's catering, there's meal prep that I've been doing. I have started an herbal tea business, along with, well, it's really just called The Poetic Mystic, which is this. I use The Poetic Mystic as the umbrella LLC for everything that I do, pretty much. But I've made candles, I've made waist beads, I've made rings, I've made bracelets, I've made wax melts, like, I don't know, like I do a lot. I've done tarot readings. I started my YouTube doing tarot readings, I consider myself a spiritual counselor. I write poetry, I write music. I've made a documentary. I have a poetry book out actually, so I'm actually an artist, an author, I meant. Like I've done so many different things, like, and I still do, so many different things. And I feel like a lot of us might experience burnout because, and a lot of us, especially since the pandemic, a lot of us have started that, our own businesses, or, trying to capitalize on our other talents, that don't really make us hate ourselves. Like, I'm not saying everybody who works a 9 to 5, that means you hate yourself, because for some people, a 9 to 5 is just what you need and it works for you. Some of us have kids, some of us, just need a more stable, income situation, and that's totally fine. I still work, I wouldn't say it's a traditional 9 to 5, but I do still work, for a company that I'm salary for. So I still give my time to, another job in order to receive income, while also doing my own endeavors. I've painted, like, I don't sell my paintings, but I paint and I hang them on my wall here. That's not to say I never want to sell them, but, I do so many different things. And when he said that maybe your expectations are just stupid high, just crazy high, I'm like, you know what? You're fucking right. And I feel that because when I was in high school, like the only way that I could be recognized by my mom was my grades, any other time, or cooking, but any other time, it always just seemed like we was beefing about something. Like, I didn't even know. I mean, I was a kid. Like, I don't know what the fuck we're beefing about, but she always had an attitude. And she doesn't like to hear that. But it's the truth. And, I'm sorry, mommy, if you watch this, but it's the truth. I understand why. I mean, you have 5 kids, you working all time. I mean, you working a lot, like frustration, you got all this stuff on your own. I get it. I totally get it. As a kid, I did not. I get it now, but that doesn't justify, the lack of compassion. And that's how I was. And so it just felt like we was always beefing unless I was making good grades. When I brought home my grades, we was always kosher. Always. I mean, there was never a time. I don't think she's ever yelled at me about my grades. I don't think. I mean, I might be lying, but I don't think, because all through school, I mean, I was on high honor roll, like my whole entire life. Like it never wavered. I never was on even regular honor roll. It was always high honor roll. Like, I can't think of a time she ever yelled at me. And I think because she had such high expectations for me, because she wanted me to be a doctor, like all that shit. And when I went to college, like, my anxiety and my depression and counseling helped me realize quickly that, like, medical school is just not what I want to do. Who the fuck wants to go? I don't want to fucking do that. Like, I don't want to do all that work. That's for some people. That's fine. But me, I don't want to spend my whole, I don't want to do that. I barely, all through high school, I never studied. I never studied in middle school. I never studied in high school. And I think I realize now that was like my ADHD, that I never let me focus enough to actually study, because I could not study. Like, I've tried. Like, I might do a few little problems, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I really need help, but I could not sit there and read a textbook. Like that, no. Like, just all the work, no. I could read books that I found interesting, that stimulated my imagination and things like that, but I couldn't read a fucking textbook. I'm not about to sit there and do that. And it was hard. And so when I got to college, like, you had to do that shit, or else you're going to fail the class, like, you have to read the textbook. And I tell you, every night I tried studying with my friend, I couldn't. Like, she would be so deep into the studying, and I'm like putting my head down, I'm scrolling on social media, I'm listening to music, I'm walking around. Like, I couldn't do it. Like, there's just, I don't know, I couldn't. And I was already majoring in bio. So honestly, in college, I went from majoring in biology with a minor in chemistry. I was pre-med I was still pre-med sophomore year, but I switched from bio to psych because psych was just something that, suited me a lot better. My minor was still chem though because I was still pre-med, and I don't want to piss my mom off because she wanted me to be pre-med. So at that point, I'm still trying to live her dreams, but then, I'm like, honestly, kind of like, fuck her dreams. Like, what about me? Like, how am I going to keep myself sane? So I dropped chemistry, I dropped the pre-med, and I picked up entrepreneurship as my minor. But then I realized with that, I would have so many more classes to take. I didn't have enough time left to take all those classes and still finish in 4 years. So I ended up dropping entrepreneurship as my minor, and then I picked up a double concentration in bio and chem. And the only reason I did that was because since I was already pre-med, I already had the basic bio and chem courses knocked out. So by doing a concentration in bio and chem, I was done with my minor. So I switched to that, so that way I only had to focus on my psych courses that I had to finish. I didn't tell my mom this at all. Like, I made all these decisions on my own because when I first switched from bio to psych, when I was even still pre-med, but I asked her to come home. Like, I like, can I come home and like go to school there and like just commute to school? Like, I don't want to be here. Like, I was like, it was a lot. I was going through a lot, and she told me pretty much no. Like, she cussed me out like on the phone as I'm like depressed as fuck. She was like, hell no. Nah. So I don't think I was ever allowed to just be. I don't think I was ever honored or shown love or compassion for simply existing. That never came for me. I always had to be something. I had to do something. I had to lose weight because that was a big thing too. Like, I had to be active in something. I had to make the grades. I had to, go to school and be this. I had to do that, and so when I do all these other artistic and business endeavors, I find that I enjoy them more. And honestly, a lot of these things that I started doing resulted as me trying to find therapy for myself because therapy honestly is expensive, and I'm not rolling in fucking dough. And I was seeing a therapist who I thought, she told me my shit was gonna be free, and then one day I get a bill for $600. I'm like, sis, you said this shit was free. All my invoices said $0, and then all of a sudden I gotta pay you $600. So like, it kind of just like ruined the path for me. And when I was in college, counseling was on campus, so I didn't have to pay for that. I could just make an appointment and go. So like, now that I'm here and I don't have that, I find myself going to YouTube a lot or trying to meditate more or talk to God more and do more spiritual work because I have to figure it out. So I started painting because it was just something that came to me that was just very therapeutic. I started making music, I started doing open mics and facing my fears of, crowds and being in front of them alone and things like that. And honestly, my life has blossomed so much. I wear crystal jewelry all the time. This is not a crystal on my neck, but this is, the bracelets. Like, I wear crystal jewelry. That's who I am. So I was like, well, let's make some, so that's where the jewelry came from. And I love burning candles. And candles, I don't know, like, that was just something I started doing a long time ago, actually. When I think I was still in college, and I started making candles, like with my friend one night. We started making candles and tea, like, that was just something that came to me. Herbalism came to me. That's something that my ancestors brought upon me. So like, everything that I've done after college, like, I'm very thankful for. But at the same time, I feel like I was still trying to make these things, something that would make me feel accomplished or make me feel worthy, so let me sell this shit. So, whatever. And I can just make all this money, and maybe I'll be successful then, and maybe I'll find my purpose doing this and blah, blah, blah. But, I'm fucking tired of striving. I'm tired of feeling like I have to be the very best at all the shit that I do to be like worthy, of like money and worthy of love and comfort and, all that. Like, my whole entire life, I never was honored for just being Andre. Like I said, like, my mom, like, she had 5 kids. I don't even think it registered to her that like we could just be kids, No, we have to be something. And I feel like a lot of parents, especially the boomers, have this mentality where you have to be doing something with your life in order to be seen as someone worth loving, someone worth giving your time and energy to, your affection, your help, and that is so fucked up to me because if I'm your kid, that means you conceived me. That means you lay down and open your legs and did the do, and now here I am. That means I didn't ask for this. Why can't I just be loved for being your kid? Why can't I just deserve the best that life has to offer because you love me? Because I am a human and I am God's creation. And so, in that, inherently, I'm already worthy. I'm already worthy, but we're taught that our worth is based upon what we can do, what we can put out. You know what I'm saying? And I'm someone who believes that when you're talented, you should use your talents. But that doesn't mean that your whole entire worth lies in that one talent. Because if that talent is taken away from you, say you're Kanye West, right? And he got in that car accident and he had wires in his mouth. A lot of people, that would have sat him down. Kanye didn't give a fuck. Kanye kept making music with wires in his mouth. Kanye didn't let the fact that he had wires in his mouth like deter him from the fact that I'm still Kanye fucking West. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I can still do this shit. Like, this is what I'm here for, so I'm going to keep doing this. That's what it should be about. You know, it should be about the passion behind it. It should be about, I want to do this because this makes me feel good. I want to help other people with this. I want to transmute my pain. I want to help whatever you want to do it for. You know what I'm saying? Should be good enough. That should be good enough. I shouldn't have to bring in 200K a year for you to see me as somebody that you want to spend your time with, or somebody that you think is worthy of nice things, you know, because I put in all this work. Because if you think about it, I love going back to like the old days. I know times have changed now, but I love going back and referencing the old days because back then none of this shit existed. And when I say old days, I mean like hunting and gathering days. None of this shit existed. There were no schools. There were no fucking credit scores. There wasn't like, you know, there wasn't all the extra shit. You know, there weren't these major professions and you didn't have to go to school for 4 years and put yourself in $400,000 of debt. And people really do be in $400,000 of debt. And I know because I used to work at Sallie Mae, a debt collection company, and I saw them accounts. That man was in residency, fucking medical school, $400,000 in debt. 400K. Are you serious? For school? Are you serious? That's insane. That's fucking insane. So you're telling me I gotta do all that before I'm worthy of love, of attention, of affection, of being seen? You know what I'm saying? Of going after what it is that I want, of all my desires. You know what I'm saying? And just coming to this realization, it helped me to realize that I'm worthy simply because I am. I don't have to sell X amount of money in teas and candles and jewelry to be seen as somebody who's worthy of anything. You know what I'm saying? Of friends, of family, of love. I keep going back to love because that's what was not given to me, you know, as a kid. Like, if it didn't come to like school, there wasn't like compassion and shit just because I'm your child. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying my mom doesn't love me or any of her kids, because I know she loves us. But I also know that she had high expectations for us. And if we did not fulfill those expectations, we felt her wrath, period. Period. That's just how it was. And that is not what I want for my life now. That's not what I want for my future children's lives. And so I often find myself hearing this voice in my head, you know, when I'm not actively working on something, or when I'm not actively doing something that's telling me you need to be doing this, you need to be doing that, or else you're not going to do this, or you're not good enough for that, you shouldn't be doing this, and that person doesn't like you, they're talking about you in that post, they're doing this, you're not good enough. What have you done to deserve their love? What have you done to be able to fit in with them? What have you done? I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. And I've come to identify this voice as my mom's. It is my mom's voice in my head, constantly telling me that I need to be doing more, that I could be doing better, that I need to be doing better. Listening to that voice will really help you forget how blessed you really are. And you know, maybe that was just the expectations that were set for her. And so she had them for me. I'm just not her. You know what I'm saying? And when I look around at my apartment, there's a lot to be thankful for. The fact that I can even be sitting here right now doing this, I'm thankful for that. The fact that I have my whole little creative corner, I'm thankful for all of the many different things that I have got to try. You know what I'm saying? But as a result of this conversation and this realization, like I really feel like all of the art that I make, I want it to be more sacred. I don't want to do it and just put a dollar sign on it. I want to do it because it feels good to me and because this resonates with me and because this is something that I use and I know other people could benefit from, you know? I don't want to have to mass produce a shit ton of stuff to just ship out, you know, and just say, oh, I have orders, oh, I have this. Nah, like, I think I want to make art and I'll still sell my art, you know, and my teas and all that. But I think I want to, especially the pieces that I hand make, like the candles or the rings or the waist beads or whatever, like I want to sell them as I make them. You know, like I don't want it to be pressurized to, you know, just like you don't have to be productive 24/7. Like you don't have to do that to be seen as a worthy member of this society. I'm tired of putting that strain on myself. I'm tired, and it just makes so much sense because I'll start something and I'll just get so burnt out so fast. You know, like I'll get so burnt out so fast, and I don't even want to do it anymore because I'm not doing it because it's making me feel good. I'm doing it because I feel like I have to do it in order to support myself. Because that's been my whole thing is like I want to make enough money to be able to work for myself. But I know that, you know, to be able to at least quit my job to the point that I don't have to clock in for anybody else, you know, but I still want to support myself and my lifestyle. So, like, I think I was so in that mindset that, like, I just wanted to mass produce. And I am actually this year, I did a lot of like little vending pop up events. And I don't think I'm going to stop doing those because that's a really good way to gain, like, not only attention, but like revenue. Like, white people especially, they love spending them some fucking money, all right? Like, the black folk, look, I ain't mad at y'all because I get it. You know, we at a disadvantage. I get it. Y'all got stuff to, you know, y'all got to worry about. Y'all got to take care of your kids, blah, blah, blah. Like, I get it. But white folk, they don't spend this fucking money. And I don't mind that shit. Like, you know, I'll still keep doing the pop-up and vending events and all that. Like, it was fun. Like, I like that experience, but I don't want to have to, like, mass produce the same shit over and over and over, you know, to keep giving the people what they want. I want to give y'all what I want to give y'all. And if you fuck with it, that's amazing. And if you don't, that's fine. You know? Like I want to do it like that. So I want to like as I make a ring, I'll post my ring on Etsy. As I make some candles, because I'm in a candle making mood, I'll post my candles on Etsy. You know, like I want it to be like that. You know, as I make the waist beads or as I make the bracelets, like then I'll post them and then y'all can buy them. You know, and that's kind of how I want to live my life. As I make my music, I'll put my shit out. Like I make music because music feels good to me. Like I don't want to do this because I feel like I have to do this to be productive, to be worthy, to be seen, to get this, to get that. I'm worthy of every single thing that I want simply because I exist. Me being born sealed that. It wasn't after you're born, you're only worthy of this after you achieve that and after you do this and after you reach this certain level and after, no. I'm worthy right now because I am. I am that I am. That's why my bio on Instagram says, I am that I am. I changed it recently to the leader, but I'm going to change it back to I am that I am. And that's oh fucking K to change my shit back. Because I change every day. And y'all should be okay with changing every day too. Y'all should be okay with not feeling judged that you're indecisive. We're young. We're young. There's so much out here to see, to do, to explore. You know what I'm saying? So much more than what the fucking white man has told us. So much more than what the fucking white man has given us, which is hardly shit. You know what I'm saying? We have to stop waiting on our handouts to come from them. Okay, because that's ultimately what this is. This capitalist society, that's ultimately what this mindset is. And my mom put on me, that she put on my other siblings, that probably her parents put on her, and y'all parents probably put on y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, that comes from capitalism that says your worth is directly tied to this dollar amount that you make every hour. And if you can't make at least that, you're not worthy of a home. You're not worthy of a car. You're not worthy of love. You're not worthy of having children. You're not worthy of anything if you can't go clock in for somebody and make some fucking money. That's your worth right there. That's bullshit. Okay? That's fucking bullshit. You're not going to tell me that I'm only worth what I can put out. No, because that's not what happened when I got here. I didn't come out the womb lifting weights. Okay? I didn't come out the womb flipping burgers. I didn't come out the womb singing. I ain't come out the womb dancing. I ain't come out the womb talking. I barely came out thinking. Okay? I'm not sure what goes through babies' minds. I'm not sure if they can form whole words in their head or not. But we didn't come out fucking tap dancing. You know what I'm saying? We came out and had to be cared for. We had to be looked after. We had to be watched because we didn't know. We were learning, and that was okay. We were still worthy of everything. So what changed? Why did I hit a certain age and then all of a sudden now my worth relies on the grades that I'm bringing home to school, bringing home to my mom from school? And if these grades aren't good enough, now I'm getting yelled at. Because who the fuck said every kid grows at the same fucking rate? Who the hell said that we was all supposed to graduate in 12 years? Who said that? And why? Why did we think that was okay? To force us into the same learning environments, learning curriculum, like, we are different. We are different. Every single one of us is different down to our fingerprint. It's not fair that me, who honestly, like, I'm just be honest, I'm advanced, intelligent. I'm intelligent. I get stuff very easily. I get stuff, and very easily I can help other people with the same stuff. But everybody can't do that. So you want to put me in the same room as someone like, let me not say, I don't want to say names or even, whatever. You put me in the same room as someone who may have undergone a lot of shit psychologically from birth. Maybe they were born addicted to crack cocaine. Or maybe this is someone who's adopted. Or maybe someone who doesn't have a stable living environment. Maybe someone's mom and dad are always gone to live with grandma. They only see mom every once in a while. You put me in the same room as them. And then I'm going to get A's, but they're probably going to fail because they have so much other shit going on. But there's no curriculum tailored to kids who have shit going on. They just want to put them in separation and isolation, you know what I'm saying? Because they can't do their work with other kids where they can get yelled at, by the teacher who doesn't really want to be there, dealing with the bad kids. I worked with the bad kids and I felt terrible. I felt awful working with the bad kids. And I didn't feel bad because I was working with bad kids. I felt bad that they couldn't get the same type of education as someone else because they're undergoing so much shit at home. So much shit that is causing them not be able to focus, causing them to want to yell out and have random reactions because these are babies. These are babies, but we're treating them as if we're all the same. You should be able to do that because so-and-so does it. They're in the same class as you. No, that's not how any of this works. It's not how any of this works. It's not how it should work anyway. I felt bad working with them because the person I was working with always resulted to raising his voice, to getting them to listen. So you're perpetrating exactly what they're going through at home. Only you brought it to school. So if you don't listen to me, I'm going to yell at you. If you don't listen to me, you're not going to be able to do this, that, the third. Fuck what you're going through at home. We don't have counselors here. We're not going to talk to you about what you're going through at home. All we're going to worry about is make sure you're getting your schoolwork done. Yeah, turn that shit in. It's fucked up. And just talking to some of them, like, I was that person. Like, I made it a point to talk to them about what was happening at home. What happens at home? And that helped me understand. Honestly, I think I really helped this kid because since I had to leave the position, but since I left, he has hardly had any trouble. And honestly, I feel like that only came after I talked to him about what was going on at home. And he was going through a lot of shit at home. He's in second grade, living with his aunt. Mom, who knows? Only see her sometimes. Dad lives somewhere else. Only see dad on Fridays. His birthday had just passed. Mom didn't get him anything. He's 8. He was 8. And I asked him at home what happens when he said his aunt was mean to him. And I said, okay, if your aunt's mean to you at home, I said, when she gets mean, do you just walk away? And he was like, yeah. He just goes to his room and she don't give a fuck. And it was triggering him in the sense that at school, that when his teacher said something to him in a way that he, perceived as someone coming down on me, he would walk out of the classroom. That was his answer because that's what he did at home. I walked out and nobody came to chase me at home. So why are y'all chasing me at school? Why do you care? Isn't that a fucked up, that's fucked up. Because although he wasn't saying, why do you care? Essentially, that's what he was saying. Why do you care? I do this at home. This is what happens at home. Why here do I get chased down? Why do I have to follow your directions? Why do I have to do this? Nobody cares anyway. I've had kids tell me that. Nobody cares anyway. You don't care. But I do. But I know you're not going to believe me unless I show you that I care. So although you're acting like this with me, although you're although you're yelling at me, although you're, kicking at me, because these kids would do a lot. They kick, they try to, force their way out of the room by me. I had hold doors shut because kids would try to force the door open and run out the hall. I've had kids throw rocks at me. I've had mulch thrown at me. I've had to shut doors in between me and a child to keep myself separate so that I didn't get hurt. Because they were that aggressive. I had kids slap me. I've had kids do a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? And if I didn't have the patience that I have, because I understand that they're babies and all this is just a cry for help. But if I let my frustrations get in the way, like a lot of those teachers do, we would never get anywhere. That feels a lot more purposeful to me, helping the kids, you know what I'm saying? Also just living my life and expressing myself as I see fit. That feels so much more helpful than trying to force these children into molds the way that I was forced into a mold that I didn't fit. That led to a whole lot of depression, a whole lot of anxiety, a whole lot of self-worth issues, a whole lot of low self-esteem, a whole lot of repression of emotions. And even now I keep feeling tears come up and go back down because I want to cry because it means that much to me. We are all worthy because we are. No matter what our backgrounds are, no matter where we come from, no matter what we've gone through, no matter what we haven't gone through, we are all worthy simply because we are. There is no worthy because, there's just worthy, period. And that is my rant for the day. I believe my business and everything's about to change just as a result of this mindset, and just the things that I'm going to do moving forward as a result of this conversation where I was told that my expectations for myself are honestly way too fucking high. I hope y'all gathered something from this. I hope y'all learned something from this. Share it with your friends. Share it with whoever needs it, with that person who just, share it with the perfectionist. Because you don't have to carry the whole world on your shoulders. You were not built for that. None of us were. None of us were built for that. We were built to share, to help each other. You don't have to be worthy of help. Just help people. Because imagine if you were in someone's situation who you deem as someone who needs help. Do you really feel like if you were that person that you would have to do X, Y, and Z to be helped? I mean, you're a human. You're human, just like we're all human. Like, we can help each other. There's enough resources for all of us if we're willing to see it that way. But we like to get things and just hold on to them. We like to take. We like to take, but we never give. We like to receive, but we never give. And that's why we'll forever be unbalanced, because we take so much and we just don't give anything back. So you're worth so much to where you don't have to hold on to shit like that. You can give it away and you'll still be worthy of more. You're worthy. You're worthy. Peace out.